Ahmed Otama here with LNTV News Live, and the big stories we're following. President George Weah vows government's commitment to prioritize rice production to ensure food security in Liberia. EU Head of Education and Infrastructure Section wants government to employ mechanisms to protect roads across the country to avoid spending more money for maintenance. PER President Charles Coffey challenges journalists to be responsible but fearless in their reportorial duties. And away from Liberia, Israel outraged by Cameroon minister's Holocaust comment. These developments are all packaged. After this break, we'll be right back. Stay with us. President George Weah says he will do everything possible to ensure that Liberia produces rice for local consumption and exports some to other countries. President Weah said his government will prioritize the production of rice in huge quantities to enhance food security in the country. President Weah spoke Monday following a one-day meeting with authorities of the Ministry of Agriculture and donor partners regarding his quest to transform the country's agricultural sector.
We thought that the agricultural sector is important, in our pro agenda, and I'm just trying to ascertain and follow up to see how we can grow that sector. It's important for us, and what I try to do is to bring our partners together with the agriculture minister and his team to sit down and discuss how we can help the agricultural sector to grow for the benefit of our people in our country.
Second question. Mr. President, I'm Samuka from Power Television. You met the Agriculture Ministry authority today. What did it tell you in terms of Liberia's move towards the agricultural sector?
Well, the lot of discussion we had in there. We talk about leaving the small farming to a large farming. I think it's important for us. And for the kind of investment in agriculture and the performance, I mean, it's so little. So I think that we have to design our strategy to do well in that sector. So we're going to find a technical team and to see what we will put together that will make the sector grow. I think it's important for us to know. We hear that agriculture have huge investment, but we don't have farms. And those farms we have are small farms. So if we need to be self-sufficient, then we need to have bigger farms and grow our own food.
The final question, please. My name is Edward Blamu from New Liberia newspaper. You've always said agriculture is Liberia's comparative advantage. And as a president, are you ready to take the lead investing in agriculture sector?
Well, that's why I'm here today. I just stated that for the kind of investment in agriculture, we don't see the results. So I'm concerned, and I said in my speech that we need to now come into that sector and grow our own food and make sure that the sector boom, through all our partners, even the private sector. And I think it's important for us. So we want to see Liberians eating their own rice, and exporting and our own food, for the growth of this country.
Also speaking, Agriculture Minister Dr. Morgana Flomo says it requires over $500,000 United States dollars for Liberia to produce and export rice.
Looking at the challenges, for example, we've been involved with subsistence farming, lack of access to finance, the kind of infrastructure we should have in place for agricultural purposes are not there, and the private sector has not been playing some role in the process to make sure that they are able to work to aggregate and produce, lift the food from the farm to the processing center to the market and all of those different activities. So we're looking for a way on how we can be able to put all of those things together. So some of the things we are looking at is trying to go mechanized. You know, we can't continue to use cutlasses and hoes to think that we will be able to feed ourselves as a country. There's a need that we shift to machines and be able to produce on a larger scale to be able to feed ourselves. And from the projection we did, if we were able to put in the amount of money we are looking at, which is about $511 million, over the next 5 years, we can tell you that by 2023, if we are able to invest that amount of money, by 2023 we could begin to export rice, for example.
So, Mr. Minister, you've been in the place for some time, and you drive the policy of the institution. And looking at some of those that are happening in the sector, tell us basically what have been your own challenge in terms of moving the sector forward, making it more viable.
I think I listed most of those challenges, right? From the level of the ministry, of course, we too have been looking for means to get the kind of funding needed to be able to address those issues. And there's a need for manpower as well. We need technicians to be able to provide services to the farmers.
The Director General of the Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority, Dr. John Flomo, says LACRA is committed to help improve the sector. As part of said effort, Dr. Flomo noted that a planned farmer conference is on the way to look at issues relating to improving the sector. He spoke more in an interview with the station.
One of the groups that we have on board right now working with us on the planning process of this conference is the Federation of Cooperatives. The Federation of Cooperatives is an organization for all farming cooperatives or agriculture cooperatives in the country. So we started working with them. LACRA is on the work. Make sure we empower them to make sure we reach every section of this country where there is a farm. We're looking forward to bringing to this conference 600 farmers from across the country. Some of them will be representatives of cooperatives, some of them representatives of associations and direct farmers. So we are determined to ensure that we have every farmer represented at this conference. This conference is not going to be one where we will come and give speeches. It will be more an interactive conference where farmers will talk about their challenges and what they need, what they think that they will be helped with, and then we listen to the development partners to see how they also will communicate with the farmer directly as to how they can help them and what are the protocols we can give them. We are even inviting the banks that are involved in agriculture in this country.
Meanwhile, Dr. Flomo said training of local farmers is one of the incoming plans of LACRA, especially for the year 2019.
Our responsibility at LACRA is to build capacity, to capacitate some of the different things that we help the farmers to grow in their farming. Currently, you know that we are gradually growing beyond the age of subsistence farming. So when farmers are given the opportunity to express their needs directly to the development partners, I believe it's going to open a door of opportunity for many of them to hear from the development partners as to how we as a development partner and us as a government we could work together to improve our agriculture sector. It will also be a time where we as LACRA will have the opportunity to share with the farmers some of the different policies we come up with. Like you know our name, like we are Agriculture Commodity Regulatory Authority. So we are talking about regulations and policies to regulate how we do agriculture in this country, how our foods are processed, and how to do different things. So it will be a time of learning, a time of interaction, and a time of building collaborations among the different partners.
The head of the European Union Education and Infrastructure Section, Yanni Zazas, has called on the national government to place some focus on the maintenance and protection of roads across Liberia. According to him, the government is spending more money on roads construction due to lack of proper protection, something he noted should be looked at critically. Mr. Zaza spoke when the Ministry of Transport addressed a news conference on the implementation of the new road safety law.
EU provided most of the funds for this absolutely needed infrastructure for the people in Africa. But while EU provides the expensive investment, the governments are not protecting the roads. with the result of early destruction of this expensive investment. Consequence is that EU stopped supporting new roads in Africa recently, considering that huge investment is a waste of money. The midlife of a road is about 30 years, and by good protection and maintenance can last much longer. Unfortunately, uncontrolled overloading by trucks leads to early fatigue and destruction of the roads, shortening considerably their life, sometimes even to the half. Early destroyed roads by overloading remain destroyed for a long time because the governments do not have the means to reconstruct again, and the donors are not willing to waste their money in unprotected roads. Final result, destroyed roads makes transport and life of people difficult, especially in remote areas, and finally the ordinary people pay the price for this neglection.
Meanwhile, transport consultant at the Ministry of Transport, Dave Dan Dao, explained some measures being worked out by the ministry to help further protect damaged roads across Liberia.
This law now, we have specific weight of every vehicle to be on our, the big trucks to be on our roads. Okay. So if a truck is coming from Simeco, okay, there is certain weight that you need to take on your vehicle to be able to use the road. So we have the regulation, the law, everything set for that. So what we're doing now is we are at the infancy of this particular process. So you just saw the insertion meeting, okay, where Minister Wulu himself and the European Union delegation head, not the head, the expert on infrastructure, okay, and then the NAO as well as other stakeholders, GIZ, yeah, they all were part of this program. So we're trying to first of all start the ball rolling, okay, but then after here we'll be going to engage all the different entities that are stakeholder into the big trucks, okay, so that we meet them first, ask them to have their own weight stations in their premises so that they don't come on the road with heavy load.
Can you tell us some of the institutions involved?
Well, we hope to be talking to Simeco, because we'll hope to be talking to Simeco. We'll be also going to talk to LPRC. We'll be going to talk to the National Port Authority and all the rock crusher companies, and just making sure that we conscientize them before they can get to destroy our road further.
So today, can we say is mere focus on the implementation of the
absolutely. The asset load system. Yeah. So today's meeting was just a kick-off of this law, of this law. The regulation, the law itself, the implementation of this law now. Okay. So what we will be doing as a ministry, okay, we will be training brigades. Okay. So that means that in compliance, in compliance, we will be looking for people like the Simeco truck being weighed. Okay. So how are we going to do that? We got we're going to have 3 or 4 different vehicles with our plate, our weight, plate on it. So when we find a truck in violation, we ask you to unload your goods so that you don't further deteriorate or destroy our road.
The president of the Press Union of Liberia, Charles Coffey, has challenged Liberian journalists to be objective but fearless in the discharge of their reportorial duties. According to him, journalists should now engage into investigating issues in the interest of the public for the betterment of the country. He said it is about time for Liberia to have a pluralistic media to ensure that total independence is upheld at all times.
We want to urge our members to be in line. The first thing we noticed, the Roots FM was off air. I drove there to find out, and I was informed it was a technical problem. But the latest reports to the union now was that some unscrupulous individuals went to the site and cut some wires that led to the station going up. But now, as we speak, the station was on. We think anybody had any issues, because that is not government, they did not say government, except some people, unknown people. We should not take law into our hands. We need to channel our grievances through the proper channel. I mean, going to media institutions, cutting wires, as citizens who have some concern is not good. In the same vein, the ethical principles of the press union is key. One of the provisions is about decent expression. It is on Article 5.4, Section 5.4 and 6.3. And this provision talks about decent expression. The 6.3 is also concerned about disseminating information void of creating confusion. The journalism is not about confusion. The journalism is about truth-telling. There is no history in this country that the war that we experienced in Liberia was a result of journalists. So our role as journalists is to lift the potential of our people from actions of war to economic viability.
He's the president of the Press Union of Liberia. If you're just coming our way, you're watching LNTV News Live, coming to you from Pinsville, outside of the nation's capital, Monrovia. I'm Edward, anchoring tonight's edition of this program, and the big stories we're following. President George Weah vows his government's commitment to prioritize rice production to ensure food security in Liberia. EU Head of Education and Infrastructure section wants government employ mechanism to protect roads and avoid spending more money for maintenance. PR President Charles Coffey challenges journalists to be responsible but fearless in the discharge of their reportorial duties. And away from whom Israel is outraged by Cameroon minister's Holocaust comment. We got more developments to ahead after this break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Two Liberian sport promoters have re-echoed the need for the people of Liberia to recognize the sacrificial services of people who have contributed immensely to society. G. Jiple Nyinsua and Timothy Paulus, who are part of a project committee to erect a modern monument of football legend George Weah, said that decision to embark on such initiative is to give the future generation an idea and pictorial evidence of the former war-best, now President George Weah, something they noted he so deserved. They've been speaking more to the station.
When you were in the days of football, you know, my brother, as Mr. Kudi just said, ever in the history of football, he's the only player for Africa to win the European best. Be a black man to win Europe prize. It's the greatest thing to do, and to come from the continent of Africa, the little country of Liberia. That's the greatest thing ever on earth to give praise to him. And the best thing to do is not to go to the process of wanting to go to today. Today, if you join us out there and ask anybody, they will never tell you how money goes to look. If you short, if you tall, if you fat, they will not even tell you. Like you must say in our generation. I can tell you. Yeah, thank you. So it wouldn't be like Honorable Koti, Fakoli, Josiah Johnson. They will give you the history of when they go. Timothy Paulus will not tell you. Even Julius Conte will not tell you that. So we don't need to repeat such a history. So the best thing to do, the next generation to come, is to see the monument of President Weah, so that tomorrow they will not be, asking questions how he look, how you were playing and all that kind of stuff. So that's the biggest motivational aspect that brought me on board to see this thing happening. Because if you go to Portugal today, go at the airport of Portugal, you see Cristiano Ronaldo monument. It's there because it's kind of a football that he played for a country, Portugal. So today we need to do that. So being a football president, there's no better joy than to want to honor, a football icon, a legend, an icon in football. I'm so motivated because, in our country we need to ensure that there are things engraved in the history of this country that generation to come will see our compatriots and say, yes, Liberia, our country, made a mark.
Deputy Agriculture Minister Robert Figgins has underscored the need for Liberians to fully utilize the importance of wetland across Liberia. Serving as guest speaker over the weekend at the International Wetland Day, Mr. Figgins named some of the benefits of wetlands as improvement in the tourism sector, increase in employment, agriculture and industrial sectors, among others. The Deputy Agriculture Board spoke under the theme, Protect Wetlands, Prevent Flooding.
They play an important role in the processes that keep landscape healthy and productive. They support industries such as agriculture, fisheries, forestry, and tourism by supplying water for crops, stocks and people, maintaining water quality, providing habitat for commercial fishes, and having cultural and recreational balance. They also host a huge variety of life. Protect coastlines and provide natural defense against river flooding or storm surges, as well as store carbon dioxide to regulate climate change. Liberia became a part of the Ratifying Convention on 2nd November 2003. As a signatory, Liberia is committed to protecting and
also speaking at the program, Deputy Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Randa Dobayu, calls on Liberians to always abide by the EPA regulation and desist from building on wetlands across Liberia.
Started in 2003, November 7th. That was not an official secretary and committed ourselves to obtaining the principles and norms of the International Convention on Wetlands. And after that being a part, there were few sites, few designated sites nationwide that we as a country would say we will protect this wetland, we will not abuse this wetland. And these sites include the Marshall Wetland in Miami County, the Missouri Wetland in Western County, the Bendy Wetland in Lima County, the Piso, of course, in Maryland County, and the Batawi Wetland in Polk County, the Wetland Water Quality. Our agency, the Environmental Protection Agency, by law, by the federal government legislation, we are charged with responsibility to manage, protect the environment, both marine and terrestrial, also marine and water on sea, including the protection of wetlands and facilitating several restoration projects in partnership with civil society group, students that we have in the together, we come together to protect our wetlands and create intense community awareness.
Meanwhile, one of the residents of the wetland community, Daniel Brunel, calls for joint efforts to protect wetlands in Liberia.
Protecting our wetland is a very serious issue for our survival as a community and as a nation. What we want EPA to do is to increase awareness on the issue of how we protect our wetland. There are other things that we learned here today. For all our own, our different communities, we may not be able to disseminate the information the way it has to be. So we are looking up to EPA, the day where we come to District 13, so that all the communities together, we can work along with them to teach our people how to protect our wetland. Let EPA be very proactive, very proactive, so that together we can protect our wetland.
The House Committee Chairman on Health, Joseph Sawabi, has praised the government for ensuring the health sector is viable. Representative Samwabi named the rehabilitation of some components of the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, commitment to ensure the G.W. Harley Hospital is relocated in Saniquale, among others, as several priority issues of the CDC-led government. He spoke Monday with Musu Salif at the capital.
The ministry, along with this office, have visited this place. We have visited Rwanda to see some. The government has done great things in the area of health, like the rehabilitation of the JFK, some component of it, and where even to the extent the government, during the launch of the county meet, His Excellency was in Nimba County, and he made the government made a commitment to relocate Saniquale G.W. Harley Hospital, which is one of the old age problem over 40 years that problem has been there, saying because our hospital is greatly embarrassed by the train trap, and now that as that matter is increasing the frequency of their movement along the place, when the train is passing, even if the patient is on the operation bed, they will have to halt until the train passes before they can continue, because the vibration in the whole building cannot be easy. So when we explain this to His Excellency, he being a man of wisdom, he saw it fit and make the commitment that the government, and we told him that there was a land space available for the relocation of that hospital, and he immediately, without delay, committed $1.5 million that we should start the process.
Meanwhile, the Nima County District 3 lawmaker also disclosed that a delegation will travel to Guinea shortly, including officials from the Liberia Revenue Authority, National Port Authority, among others, to hold some meeting with Mercy Ship aimed at improving the health sector in Liberia.
The ministry, along with this office, have visited this place. We have visited Rwanda to see some of the improvement, the level of processes and policies. We went there, we reviewed it, and we are thinking about how we can transform the health system of this country. I can assure you, again, as we are sitting, I am again on a delegation comprising of the ministry, LRA, and the port, and other people heading towards Guinea-Conakry tomorrow, where we will also go to meet with the Mercy Ship and see what level of work can be done. Everything that we are doing, I can tell you that even as we leave in tomorrow, the Minister of Health herself will leave along with us, but will be going for another meeting. We are doing all we can to see the deserving transformation that is needed to improve the health sector of this republic.
The Israeli embassy in Cameroon, away from home now, said it is outraged at comments made by Cameroon's Deputy Justice Minister Jean Didier Momo, in which he appeared to justify the Holocaust, in which 6 million Jewish people were killed in Nazi Germany. Asked on state television why he thought opposition leader Maurice Kamto had refused to accept defeat following the October 7 presidential election, Mr. Momo used long-established anti-Semitic stereotypes. Mr. Kamto, the leader of the MRC, comes from the Balinek ethnic group, who also has a reputation for being successful businessman. Mr. Momo, who is also an ethnic man, said it would be wrong for a group to seek political power along their economic influence, suggesting that trying to do so could be dangerous for the entire community. The Israeli embassy in Cameroon said in a statement that the government official has justified the Holocaust perpetrated by Nazi Germany. That brings us to the end of tonight's presentation of LNTV News Live. Before we let go, a very reminder of the big stories we told you. President George Weah vows his government's commitment to prioritize rice production to ensure food security in Liberia. EU Head of Education and Infrastructure section wants government employ mechanism to protect roads and avoid spending more money for maintenance in the country. PER President Charles Coffey challenges journalists to be responsible but fearless in their reportorial duties. And away from whom Israel said is outraged by Cameroon minister's Holocaust comments. That brings us to the end of tonight's presentation of LNTV News Live. Many thanks to all of you for watching. Many thanks to all of our contributors, reporters, and switchers for making this edition a success. On behalf of the entire production team here at the Liberia National Television, my name is Edward Tama. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.